Welcome back to Undisputed. These are the stories that are just so hard to share. Former Kentucky guard Terrence Clark died yesterday following a car accident. Clark ran a red light at a very high speed, according to the Los Angeles Police Department, before colliding with another car and then striking a light pole and brick wall. The 19-year-old was preparing for the NBA draft and had just signed with Clutch Sports and LeBron. He posted a picture of Clark with the caption, "Rest in paradise, nephew." And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens got emotional talking about the passing of the Boston area native. Take a listen.
To be honest, as I was walking down the hallway, I just heard this news about Terrence Clark, and not sure how much I'd want to talk about the game when you consider it a Boston kid. You know, I don't know what's real yet. I have not heard anything confirmed, but I've read what you've read, and you know, those kids are important to us here. And even though I didn't, you know, I've never met him, you know, my son looks up to him, and hard to talk about a basketball game.
Absolutely heartbreaking. Shannon, your thoughts?
It's tough. A young man that had such a bright, promising future ahead of him. And Skip, when you're young, 19, we've all been 19, you do things and you don't think anything can happen. You think you're invincible at 19. You really do. You take risks that if you're able to live to tell about it, you're like, I actually did that? I mean, I could have killed myself, could have killed someone else. I was just talking to someone, I was talking to Rich Paul about a project he and I was thinking about doing. And he was just talking about the kid yesterday, Skip. Just talking about it.
Really?
Yes, just talking about the kid. And now this, and then you read how it happened.
Well, he had just signed with Clutch.
Yes.
The day before.
Yep, just the day before. And Boston, the kid that was, I think he was Bronny's teammate out here at Sierra Canyon, was behind him, the car. And like I said, Skip, it you just think you got time. You just think that, and it's just so sad that 19 years old, that a mom is going to have to, you know, parents not supposed to bury children. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Yep.
And I can just imagine how his mom feels, how his family feels, grieving the process, all his friends and family. But this really could have been abortable. This was an abortable situation. So just think about that, young men, women, that you're not invincible. I know you think you have youth and you have all that on your side, but life is so fragile. And in the blink of an eye, in an instant, it's gone. So it's my heart breaks. My heart breaks for his family and for him, and just what could have been, just what could have been.
So when I read this last night, I sat back and shook my head. Such a tragedy. He's on the verge, was on the verge of the rest of his life. He was about to start.
Yep.
Obviously, he was a top recruit at Kentucky. Had a rough year there because he got hurt early.
Right.
He had one big game against Georgia Tech. He scored 22 in that one. He's a 6'7", sort of wing slash point guard. Didn't get to play the SEC schedule, as abbreviated as it was, then tried to come back and play in their first-round SEC tournament game against Mississippi State. And they, as a team, sort of flamed out. He didn't do much in that game. But going into this year, he was projected as a lottery pick.
Lottery pick, yep.
Not sure where he would have fallen in this draft, but he had a future. So I always sit back and try to rationalize it spiritually. Is there God's plan at work here? Man, it's hard to see that.
Right.
As you say, he made a mistake, but trust me, we've all made mistakes behind the wheel.
Yeah.
I know I have.
Yes.
In fact, it reminded me of an accident I survived by the grace of God on the way to Bears camp. I believe it was 1999. I was working at the Chicago Tribune, and I'd never driven up to Platteville, Wisconsin. It's all 2 lanes. I was a little lost, and it was pouring rain. And there was a stop sign on a 2-lane highway that I did not see, that they later put up a flashing yellow light just because they'd had accidents there before. And I took it broadside from a semi
Wow.
with no seatbelt on because I had just stopped to get something to drink in whatever small town it was. And I hadn't yet fastened my seatbelt, and it was reported his was not secured in his car.
Right.
And I got T-boned and walked away from it with scratches. By the grace of God, I don't know how.
Right.
I got an airbag in the face. I got
Right.
scratched by the airbag, and that was all.
That was it.
Yeah. And so I made a mistake that he made, and I was just blessed or lucky or whatever you want to say.
You lived to tell about it.
I lived to tell, and he did not live
Right.
to tell. A lot of people make a similar mistake
Yes.
and live to tell. You
that's-
end up escaping death because that's what it is.
I was a little older, Skip, coming back from Daytona Black College weekend, and I was on 95 headed back to Savannah. I was going 108. And I saw the police. I was like, you on the other side, you can't do anything. I kept it going. I got down the road about 3 miles. They had about 7 troopers. And I'm like, and I thought to myself, and you know, when I called my brother and told him because the insurance was in his name, I called him and told him, I said, bro, I got stopped. He said, well, how fast were you going? I said, I was going 100. I said, I got 2 tickets. I said, they stopped me going 108, and they stopped me going 92. He said, bro, I'm not upset. He said, yeah, you could have hurt yourself. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, you could have killed yourself. But he said, if you kill yourself, what do you think it would have done to Granny?
Yeah. Great point.
That's when it registered. That's when it dawned on me, Skip. Wasn't about me. Because, yeah, my life is gone, but for all intents and purposes, it would have ruined my grandmother's life also.
Yep.
So his mom, 19, Skip? 19. And his mom's like,
Oh, it's just devastating.
that's a hole that can't be repaired.
Nope. So my wife, Ernestine, reminds me on a daily basis when I get all worked up about this or that or the other.
Right.
Just let it go.
Yep. That's
Enjoy the day because you're living and breathing another day in the sunshine.
Yep.
Just embrace the day because you never know about the next day.
Yep. You got your greatest blessing.
Yeah.
You woke up this morning in your right mind and you had use of your limbs. My sister tell me that all the time. She says, Shannon, it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. My sister's very, very religious. She says, Shannon, you don't realize how blessed and how blessed you are. She's like, all that other stuff is incidental. You woke up this morning. Think about how many people that didn't get that opportunity.
Oh, my heart is breaking. The Clark family, we're thinking about you. We're praying for you, and we are so sorry for your loss. We're going to talk a bit more about the draft when we come back.